Sunrise in the Serengeti is not just a moment, it's a symphony. The honey-gold sunlight stretches across the endless savanna, painting long shadows of acacia trees and herds of gazelles grazing peacefully. The cries of a hunting bird echo from above, and the wind whispers through the tall grass. This scene evokes a strange sense of calm, but those who live here know that this peace is as fragile as the morning mist. Standing amidst this majestic beauty is David Miller, a man with a weathered face, his eyes etched with the lines of time and dust. He is a veteran ranger in the Serengeti, a man in his late 50s respected by his colleagues, but also viewed with caution due to his cold demeanor and volatile temper. Many believe him to be the most reliable man in the reserve, but no one knows the inner conflicts that tear him apart. His sudden fits of rage and occasional cruelty towards animals when he feels frustrated are the hidden sides he always tries to conceal. Following him is Max, a clever and loyal Belgian Malinois with a solid black coat, powerful yet with gentle eyes. Max is more than just a tool.
Good boy,
He's
Max.
a true friend. Max has a particularly strong bond with a young female ranger, Sarah Williams, a courageous and dedicated woman in her 30s. She and Max have worked together many times, sharing dangers and difficulties, seeing each other as true partners. Everything changes after a tense patrol. David and Sarah have a heated argument over a poacher's trap. In a moment of uncontrolled fury, David returns to his hut. Max, with his unconditional loyalty, follows him. But inside the small hut, David's rage explodes. He unleashes all his frustration on Max. The dog's fierce barks suddenly fall silent. With a rope, he strangles Max, taking the life of his loyal friend. He then puts the dog's body into a black nylon bag, drags it into a thicket of tall grass, intending to dispose of the evidence and bury the crime forever in the silence of the savannah. But nature doesn't always stay silent. A tense silence hangs over the bush. The unusual quiet of the next morning weighs on everyone's spirits. Something has changed. Meanwhile, in another part of the Serengeti, an old male lion is silently patrolling his territory. His keen senses pick up a strange and sharp scent, a smell that doesn't belong to a usual prey animal. He approaches a patch of tall grass where the black nylon bag lies still. The lion is curious, nudging it with his muzzle, then grabbing the bag and pulling it into an open field. At the same time, the female ranger Sarah Williams is on patrol. She moves slowly, observing every small movement in the wild. Suddenly, her eyes stop at a strange sight. A lion standing in the middle of a field, its gaze fixed on a black object. A sense of unease swells within her. Using her binoculars, she sees that it is a nylon bag. There are streaks of blood seeping from its bottom.
Oh, I
A low
can do
growl
this!
forms in her chest, the growl of anxiety and suspicion. Carefully shooing the lion away, she approaches. Her heart pounds. With trembling hands, she opens the bag. It's Max. The dog's jet black fur is now stained with dirt and blood. His eyes are closed, and a clear rope burn is visible on his neck. The sight is a gut punch. All her hope, all her optimism shatters. Tears well up in her eyes, hot and salty. She collapses, holding Max's body, her choked sobs blending with the wind
Oh, Max!
whistling through the grass. In that moment, she understands that Max wasn't just missing. He was brutally murdered. Her grief turns into fury, a painful truth she cannot deny. With trembling hands, she begins to search for clues. Despite the unspeakable pain in her heart, her logic tells her she must act. Her eyes now see not just a loss, but the truth being exposed. Her grief does not paralyze Sarah's will. Instead, it transforms into a fire of determination. She begins to act methodically, like a true crime scene investigator. She carefully photographs every detail and takes meticulous notes. On the dry ground, she finds a line of crushed grass, a sign that something heavy was dragged. Beside it is a clear boot print with a pattern characteristic of the boots worn by rangers. She picks up a few dried drops of blood, carefully placing them in a small plastic bag. When she examines the black nylon bag, She notices a few strands of Belgian Malinois hair and a faint but distinct smell of machine oil, a scent common around David Miller's hut. The rope marks on Max's neck were not from a wild animal, but from a rope, the same type used to tie up tools in the camp. These pieces of evidence begin to paint a clear picture, but she needs more pieces of the puzzle. She subtly questions her
We need to ensure that everything is secure.
One recalls hearing Max barking furiously the night before, then suddenly falling silent. Another remembers seeing David carrying a large, heavy black bag early that morning. All the scattered pieces of the puzzle begin to connect. Max disappeared on the same day as David's unusual absence. The boot print at the scene matches his boots. The bag and rope match the supplies in his hut. She confronts David, cautiously asking him questions. He feigns surprise and anger, trying to deflect suspicion and blame wild animals. But his evasive eyes and trembling voice betray him. Without hesitation, she decides to act. She secretly checks his hut and finds the conclusive evidence: a blood-stained rope with strands of dog hair and a roll of the same black nylon bags. The proof is now undeniable. Armed with undeniable evidence, Sarah confronts David. His eyes no longer hold feigned anger, but only pure contempt. He admits to killing Max, not for any other reason than his resentment towards animals and his disregard for the reserve's rules. The truth is exposed, harsh and brutal. The confrontation is tense. David tries to escape and destroy the evidence. Sarah, with ultimate courage, stops him. The tension peaks, and in that moment, a ferocious roar of a lion echoes from a distance. The roar resonates like a reminder, a call for justice from nature itself. It acts as an indictment, speaking for the voiceless victims of the wild. It is an omen signaling the end. In the midst of the Rangers' fury, David is arrested. His crime is brought to light, undeniable. The story of Max spreads through the community, and the dog becomes a symbol of loyalty and sacrifice. This heartbreaking tale sparks a powerful wave in the entire reserve, urging people to be more mindful of their responsibility to protect animals. In an open field, Sarah stands before Max's grave. It is a simple stone marker, but it holds a whole story of loyalty and betrayal. Her eyes are fixed on the horizon, where the sun is setting, painting the sky red. She vows to continue fighting for justice and protecting life in the wild. Max did not die in vain. The dog left behind a valuable lesson, a reminder that loyalty and protection are never meaningless. Max's death was not just a tragedy. It became a powerful wake-up call for the entire conservation community. The story of a loyal dog, a friend who sacrificed himself for what he believed in, touched the hearts of millions. It reminds us that animals are not just creatures to be preserved. They are individuals with feelings, loyalty, and a right to be loved and protected. After this incident, the Serengeti Reserve changed fundamentally. The background check process for rangers was tightened. Training programs on animal rights were made mandatory. Max became a symbol for the Justice for Animals campaign, a movement to raise awareness about the cruelty towards wild animals. Sarah Williams, now not just a ranger but an advocate for justice, uses Max's story to inspire and share a message of compassion and courage. She becomes a spokesperson, a powerful voice for those who cannot defend themselves. A year later, she is entrusted with training a new detection dog. The puppy looks up at her with bright, trusting eyes. In that moment, she feels a sense of peace and a deep faith. Max's legacy is not death, but life. Her fight, and the fight of all who love animals, is a long journey. But Max's story has shown us that from the deepest sorrow, a new purpose can emerge. It is a reminder that in the wild world full of dangers, loyalty and love are always the most powerful forces. If Max's story has touched your heart, please take action. Consider supporting organizations dedicated to protecting wild animals. Your contribution, no matter how small, can make a significant difference. Let's work together to ensure no innocent creature suffers from cruelty.